Yes. Blessings, blessings, and grand risings. Y'all are here in the morning with Miss Grace Levi. Grand risings. You can call me Miss Grace. Today, good morning. We're out of the kitchen. And the reason why we're out of the kitchen, because I'm easing my way into my studio, y'all. Today, we're going to revisit something that I was talking to you guys about a few weeks ago. You know, I give food out every Wednesday downtown Atlanta. And a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys that, let me make sure we don't have that. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me make sure y'all guys can hear me. You can hear me? Okay, let me make sure. Okay, cool. So a couple of weeks ago when I was downtown Atlanta, I go to a particular spot and I give food out, and I noticed that the homeless people were not there. So as I mentioned to you guys, the ones who follow me, I went to look for some homeless people, gave them some food, trying to figure out what was going on. And that weekend, they were having events. They were having the Chris Brown Breezy Bowl. So, you know, down here in the ATL, I kind of understand, you know, them cleaning the streets up because we had tourists coming in from all places. But I did notice a trend because the homeless population seems to have gotten lighter. And you guys know, if you don't know, I kind of got to know some faces. So I'm like, what's going on here? So, in the midst of this Charlie Kirk situation, Trump extreme executive orders, we're going to break this down today of what is possibly going on and why homeless people are becoming missing. This is directly related to the rhetoric that they have been pushing for the last couple of years. Now, guys, I need you guys, if you like my commentary, you like what I show you, what I do here, hit the like button. The goal is to get me back into the algorithm because I was a target of cyberbullying from a political team. Okay, I know politics, and guess what? That was on the Democratic side, and I'm still fighting. We'll talk about that. But eventually, I'll be back in the studio where I'm actually at. I have equipment, I have streaming platform to use, but the notifications don't go out. So like I said, if God want me to do it like this, we're going to do it like this until we build the page back up and we recover from the strike team. Y'all like, what? Oh, yeah. Y'all talking about Republican drama? I know Democratic drama, and I'm not even none of them. So we're going to first, like, I listened to my audience and how the guy said, oh, she just showed videos, this, that, and third. Yes, we have videos here. We're going to have some news articles, and we're going to go into Trump executive order. We're also going to go in some of the rhetoric that we have been hearing about the homelessness, because Charlie Kirk, the right wing, we're not only talking about black people, women. This was a major issue. So let's get to it, guys. Hit the like button. Thank you for being here. We doing it old school because they can't stop us. So hold on. There we go. All right. So this is actually the place where I go, downtown Atlanta. So a Dirty Luxury happened to have a video and saying the same thing that I said because I was confused. I'm like, where's the homeless people? And he like, listen to him. Hold up.
This shit dead. They're literally gone, bro.
This is where I give. Now this is where I give food out. This is where you saw me yesterday.
So this shit was filled with people to whom some we call friends. There's nobody here. Hold on. This is a fucking bed made out of grocery bags. But it didn't feel like a mattress topper or some shit. She left the chair? Oh, suitcases. And this basically where it started.
Look, chairs, all types of stuff is left. I don't know if this was when they were starting to wipe them out, but I have been asking about one of the homeless ladies that I have not seen in the last 2 weeks in the wheelchair. Some of you guys noted that I keep asking for her, and I have not seen her. Let's finish play this.
Plus, man, it started right here on this street, man. They got a studio set up over here. I'm trying to make the song real quick.
Oh my God.
What do you think these people went? You think they gave them houses? 5 o'clock in the morning. Your ass on the street. You better go get them. They're not everywhere, just down here. Unfortunately, I can't work no more. Right. I'm 6 years old and I got arthritis there. I can't just, my body won't just stand up, let it out. And then you finna fill the court system. But the bullshit that the judge will dismiss. Because can't nobody pay no time. What you think the judge is gonna be saying? What you doing? Where's your paper? I'm gonna do it, turn them loose in the moment. But it's bullshit. Dismiss.
So this is what's going on up here. Like they're shutting him through the court systems, knowing that these people can't pay anything. But I wasn't the only one that was alarmed. I guess his friends is down there with my friends as well. So listen to this. Now, we're just gonna touch this a little bit. As y'all heard, if y'all did not hear, Jimmy Kimmel has lost his job. This is officially Project 2025. If you don't know, please go do a reading on it. That's a very big document, but this was some of the things that was in the first 4 chapters, that basically if you're not aligned with the president's views and the agenda, that you are fired. You are fired. The DEI approach and everything is in Agenda 2025. So as y'all see, I'm going to talk about color and I talk about black people and our struggle and what's going on. But obviously that you see the hate that lives. So Jimmy Kimmel has lost his job. But this particular clip highlights the talking points that has been echoed from Charlie Kirk and his followers about homeless people. Let's watch this. Hold on. I can't wait to get my crimp stuff together.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now. Or involuntary lethal injection or something, right?
And this guy literally said this right in front of everybody. No blooper moment, no cut it out, anything. The first idea of locking them up is very irrational and stupid because it's going to cost us a lot of money. And then the second suggestion is straight wicked. But did y'all hear that? Or I'm just tripping? You know what I mean? Because I pay attention to the crazy stuff here. Let's listen again.
I just kill them. They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be. Or involuntary lethal injection or something, right?
I'm going to get to some of y'all comments as well. Y'all know what I do. I try not to get triggered and I try to stay focused, but sometimes y'all a little weird. We're not liberals here. I am a separatist. We are all about 1 or 2 paychecks away from being broke. I don't care what you say, where you're going. If you're a Democrat, Republican, or liberal, if you're not sitting in seats like these people, and they're probably 1 or 2 paychecks from being broke as well, you really can't say anything. You should really empathize with homeless people because this can be you. But let's keep it moving, okay? Because we got human people here that want to know what's going on and keeping their eyes on the prize. Okay, so now this connects to directly what we were talking about the other day with Trey Reed, the young black man who was hanged in Delta, Mississippi campus. At that same time, we found out that another man was hanged, okay? We didn't give much emphasis to that, but we're going to give emphasis to the other man, Mr. Cory Zukatis. That's his name. And this is allegedly a homeless man that was found by this stadium. So let's give him his due respect. And he's Caucasian. Go ahead and say I'm gaslighting just by telling the truth and being humane here, okay? Tuesday, September 16th. News One has confirmed that the Vicksburg Police Department, that the second victim mentioned in this story, Cory Zukatis, is not black. Our story has been corrected, and our hopes is that Cory family is loved. Loved ones are still able to get the answers they need in this tragic death. So Cory has a family. Okay, he's not just a homeless man. Hold on, let's get down to it because I want to go down to Cory's, where we're going to get back to Trey Reed because I have an update with you guys. It's a little bit weird. Okay, so just after Reed's death, another tragic discovery was made across the state. Around 1:30 p.m. on Monday, Vicksburg Police Department responded to a call about a body found hanging in the woods in the area of 4100 block of Washington Street. Okay, the victim has been identified as Cory. Hold on one second. Okay, has been identified as Cory Zukatis, a resident of Bandom, Mississippi. Police said investigations remain ongoing, and as of press time, no further details has been released regarding the circumstances around Zukatis' death. Okay, there are reports that Zukatis was unhoused. You know, that's the politically correct way to say it. With this technology, they keep changing every day. It's okay to say it today, not tomorrow. This is how they play mind games with us, make us very sensitive. But I just had to highlight that. So, it says, included pictures of the young man who is not Cory Zukatis. So this picture, you remember, guys, I told you guys, they had a picture of a Spanish guy and they had a picture of a Caucasian guy. I'm leaning to more of the side that it was a Caucasian guy because he was 36 years old. And the picture of the Spanish young guy was like a teenager. So I'm pretty much moving towards this direction that he was Caucasian. We know he wasn't black because they did correct it. So this is just another article about him. Okay, and let's see if there's anything else that they're going to give us about it, about what happened. They're talking about the Delta student. At this current time, we are conducting a thorough death investigation. The coroner's statement reads, based on the preliminary... Oh, this is the same thing about Mr. Reed. They're still talking about his bones possibly not being broken and things like that, okay? We really got to get back to that. But I want to focus on our homeless population right now, okay? Because, yeah, the hate that lives, this is some of the talking points. So I'll leave some of the information about this. I want you guys to see this. This has been happening periodically. We're going to watch a few TikToks and then we're going to get to what Trump is doing, okay? We're going to get to the facts here.
So I'm curious, like, other than the obvious billionaires and douchebags that are going to be making...
Hold on. Listen.
Did you know that it is now a crime to be homeless?
So I'm curious, like, other than the obvious billionaires and douchebags that are going to be making money off of criminalizing poor people who can't find homes and maybe, I don't know, people have mental issues who need help and can't stay in a home, are there really people out there who think that this shit is okay? Like,
yes, there are people in my audience right now that think this is okay, ma'am. I know. I'm with you, boo. I'm with your cousin.
You out there truly believe that criminalizing people for not having a home, if you agree with this, please leave your reasoning in the comments as to how you can think that this is okay. Because I would really love to understand how anybody could think that being homeless should be a crime.
So let's try to get down to the facts to see if Trump actually made this a crime. Because something happened in July, I think, that we wasn't paying attention to. But I second her sentiments. Anybody in the audience that can justify why homelessness should be a crime and why is there not other effective ways to address this, just put your comments there, because I see a few things. You know, people say this is insanity, this is conspiracy, when we're going to break down what's happening right in front of us. And remember, conspiracy is when a group of people conspire to do harm to others. So let's not let them change the word conspiracy for the 1000th time. Let's just go back to the original meaning, because this is a conspiracy. I agree. And if you want Trump 2028, we probably won't even have a Trump 2028 or a year 2028 after this. Okay? Because he's on some in times type of stuff. I have never been bombarded with so much issues in my life since the last Trump administration. It's from one issue to another issue. You have Senate meetings going on about pedos, about the vaccines. They're coming out disclosing that, and nobody's watching it. They basically tell like, we killed y'all in a needle, and that's out. You got the Epstein hearings going on at the same time. All it is, don't y'all feel flooded? And we insane? And we insane for focusing in on what we need to get the information out to the people who are not insane. But we'll keep it moving. Let's go. Listen to this. Homeless are being taken by people in unmarked vans to undisclosed location. Now remember, the reason why I like TikTok and Instagram out of all the platforms that are just social media, because they allow people more leeway to put their actual videos up. Like, you remember when all the lights were flying in Jersey? I'm from Jersey and I'm out here in Atlanta. But you remember all those unidentified flying objects, and that was going on. People were showing us videos because in certain areas I wasn't seeing what was going on. That shit was real. Yeah, just lights all over looking weird, looking like aliens coming. Yeah, but let's sweep that under the rug, you know? That's why people don't like TikTok and they don't like Instagram. But let's keep it moving. Let's listen to what he has to say. What is he talking about here?
It's already happened. Well, apparently it's already happened. We got word that it's only been like a day, and I guess this area right here where I'm at, I guess military view or something like that. Last night there was a couple, like I don't know, like about 3 or 4 of them. I'm sure because this guy was telling me he got here early, and this guy said, "Oh, he was here." The guy right over there set up. He got here earlier, setting up the funny thing, like before the sun came up. He said, like when he got here, he saw some people in the vans come up and grab all the homeless people from here, from the homeless people's home. He swears up and down that happened, that they came right here to this spot and grabbed like just 3 homeless people that were sleeping. I don't know if they were white or what color they were. They just came and picked them up and took them God knows where.
All right, so y'all, I have people in the audience saying crazy stuff. You know how they always do. But let me ask y'all a question. You think this man gonna come on his TikTok just to say this? Sounding so concerned. Well, so concerned. I mean, just regular talking. Let's go to. I mean, maybe we could go to his page, but we're not gonna go too deep in it. But this is just someone gaslighting y'all. This is just not the truth. This is just so random that someone would do this and say this. Because guess what? There's people that's actually connected to the homeless people. You're not connected to them. I'm not. I mean, you know, I give food to them, and that's why I'm starting to notice something. But a lot of you guys who are making comments don't even pay attention to them. You look at them like trash, just like black people. If you're homeless, you're black. Let's go. Trump signs executive order to make it easier to remove homeless people. July 24th, 2025. Let's listen to this article and see what's going on here. Something is not right.
President Trump wants to change how the U.S. manages homelessness. A new executive order aims to make it easier to move people off.
And again, hubby, if you watch my channel, I literally give food out to the homeless every Wednesday, and I'm broke. Like, I ask God to replenish me. I'm paying my bills and everything by myself. Got 2 kids in college, and I give food out. So I don't walk by them, sir. I think that's what you do. Just to remind the audience, go check out my other videos. I have a lot of content. You can get to know me. Don't pay attention to the trolls, okay? Let's go.
The street and into treatment for mental illness or addiction. It also calls for a major shift in how federal money to address homelessness is spent. NPR's Jennifer Lynn is here to explain more about this. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
I think people may remember that the president has complained for years about people living on the streets. What does this order say about clearing out homeless encampments?
Yes, he has, as you said, during the campaign, the presidential campaign, he talked about it. There was a video that made the rounds where he said encampments have turned, quote, once great cities into unlivable nightmares. And this executive order starts out along those lines. It says endemic vagrancy has made cities unsafe, and that getting people into long-term treatment can restore public order. Now, that is something conservatives have been lobbying for years, and that includes Devin Kurtz. He's with the Cicero Institute, a conservative think tank, and he says federal policy has just made it too easy to leave people alone on the street.
Thank you.
He says this new order would give cities a way to force those who really need care into hospitals or other treatment, even if they resist.
To really force them into care, into hospitals. Let's keep this in mind. The homeless population are not only like mentally ill people. There's a population of people who are homeless that came straight from being adopted. They came from defects. Some of these children, I watched them. I've gotten to know some stories where they never learn how to to be acclimated into society, especially being passed from home to home, from people who don't love them, some people who are just using them as tokenism. Some of them leave at 18, age out of these group homes in certain places, and go straight into being homeless. And that's what's happening down here in Atlanta. So that is a straight reflection of the actual programs and the systems that we have that is defaulty. So it's not always mental illness. Let's just keep that in mind, because I just want to kind of like, expand our horizons here and think outside of the box how people become homeless. We're going to show that as well, like a few suggestions. But don't think that you're too far from being homeless, okay? Do not. Yeah, let's go.
Either because of the long-standing lack of medication or certain disorders that make them unable to help themselves. This is really that crucial safety net at the bottom to make sure that they don't continue to fall through the cracks and die on the street.
And the executive order says this would be for those who pose a risk to themselves or others. And it calls on the U.S. Attorney General to somehow, it's not clear how, try to reverse legal precedents that have made it harder to commit people against their will.
It sounds like this would be a process. It doesn't sound like something that could or would happen overnight. So what do people who work in this area think about this?
Well, they say it's basically treating homelessness and mental illness as a crime, and it would just make the problem worse. They say it would violate civil rights, that forced treatment does not work, and it's not clear how realistic it is. I spoke with Jesse Rabinowitz at the National Homelessness Law Center, who agrees more people should get treatment, but
right now,
let's hold up. Can we think about something? I'm just going to expand this conversation a little bit. Y'all remember a couple of years ago now, in the black era, they had the crack pandemic and all of that stuff, and they was like, lock them up, give them 100 years. But then when we had the meth pandemic and the fentanyl, they were using other type of programs to help rehabilitate these people, allegedly. There is a lot of rural areas and cities that were giving syringes out to people, putting them on ketamine and giving them different drugs to wean them off of other drugs. Now, I'm a healthcare provider, and that's one of the reasons why I really stepped away from the bedside. Because for you to stop one drug to give another drug that caused another side effect in addiction was something very confusing to me, and it just worked against my moral compass. But let's keep that in mind, that the streets of these homeless people were flooded with a defaulty program like that just a couple of years ago. So we're talking about a severe drug issue and mental issue, knowing that even ketamine in itself was a new substance that they were testing on people. And people were tripping off of that. I would never give my patients that. I said, oh, hell no, we're not doing that. You remember Elon Musk with his eyeballs all rolling all around the place and on that ketamine? Yeah, I just got to throw that out there. So what I'm saying is that they continued the psychosis development in our homeless population and the people who are drug addicted with that particular program. Do you see the defaulty in that? So now you just want to wipe them off and they're just crazy and deranged. There were more factors that got these people there. But I think too much. But let's go. If you like what I'm saying, hit the like button. Please double tap. You know what we're trying to do. We're trying to get back to streaming with streaming equipment. And we need you guys to like this video and get me back in the algorithm. Let's go.
Aren't enough services. So many people want to get help, but they can't afford it, or the wait lists are too long. This executive order does nothing to address that.
Now, he and other advocates also say the most effective way to tackle homelessness is with more housing that's available and affordable. There is a massive shortage of that. We've reported on for years. And not only does this order not do anything about that, Rabinowitz says, but the administration has also called for major cuts to federal funding for both housing and homelessness.
So how exactly does this White House order change funding for addressing homelessness?
Calls for a big shift. Basically, for many years, federal funding has prioritized getting people into housing first and then offering them mental health or addiction treatment if they wanted it. This executive order calls for an end to those kinds of policies. Instead, it wants to prioritize the kind of treatment we've been talking about, and it directs several agencies, housing, health, transportation, to immediately start looking at their grant programs to make the shift. It says money should go to states and cities that crack down on illicit drug use, urban camping, urban squatting, as well as the mentally ill pose a danger.
So we already didn't have not enough money going towards housing the homeless. As we talked about yesterday, if you watched the video, they have a few shelters in Atlanta, and they're not really like whole shelters. It's probably one big or two big shelters, like just a decent size, and the rest of them are just like one is in a church. They got a few rooms, things like that. So there's not enough already. The program is faulty. They don't have rehabilitation for these people. When you go into these how can I say, homeless shelter, they don't have day programs. They don't have mandates for them to say, hey, take this stipend and go to this day program and learn how to use the computer, things like that. They can run these homeless programs just like how they ran some of the welfare programs. Because in Jersey, back in the day, if you was on welfare, and yes, I was, before I was a nurse, heck yeah, with 2 kids, single mama, DEI, baby, while I was in nursing school. They mandated us to take some type of program. But listen, I'm gonna just stray just a little bit so you can see that we lived this. Now, they forced us to take a program. I was in college for nursing. I asked them, could they take the money from the program that they was paying $2,100 for, which is a basic Microsoft computer program where I just learned how to use Microsoft for 8 hours a week for 6 weeks. And I said, could you put the money towards my nursing program, the college classes? I'm in college. You know, they said no. Did you know they said no? And because I didn't go to that program that they wanted me to go, that was low budget, they took my cash assistance away. And at that time, I said, fuck it. I am tired of this. I am just going to hustle by doing hair, starting my own business, and going to school and just collecting insurance, Medicaid. That's how these programs work. So that's what we really need to talk about. How the program works, how they're being implemented, and realistically, what is the outcome? Is there actionable outcomes that the people actually succeed? But no, we got Trump up in there redirecting the money, the little bit that was going to housing, knowing that we have inflation and we have a housing. People can't, we who work can't even afford the regular rent prices right now. Okay? Who got careers? You know it and I know it. If you got a career, your ass is struggling like me. So you expect these people to be able to get houses? So it's being redirected to programs that's going to continue to force, I don't know, some type of drug rehabilitation. How that's going to work. They're going to give them some ketamine, move them out of areas. I'm not saying where they're moving them to. Not saying what adjacent programs they're going to be able to offer. But let's listen a few more minutes of this, and then we're going to get to some TikTok videos, because you know I like TikTok. And then we're going to get to a few more articles about what Trump done did. And yeah, do you see the big picture? And I think I got something, and I'm going to have to say, God rest the dead, on Kirk talking about homeless people. This all comes together. This all comes together. So in the last 48 to 72 hours, we have had a black young man who was unalive on a campus, possibly connected to the rhetoric, and then we have a homeless Caucasian man, a couple of miles down away from that in Mississippi, the hanging state, that just hate the hate, that kind of match that same agenda. Do we have a problem here, y'all? Do we have a problem? Okay, let's go.
Could put places in jeopardy for continued funding. It could also mean we see even more cities move to ban homeless camps, for example, if that's what they think they need to do to get federal financial support.
That is NPR's Jennifer Ludden. Jennifer, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will leave all these resources at the bottom of the video. Y'all know what I do. Y'all probably don't know what I do, but I'm a geek. That's what I do. Trump executive order worsens homelessness crisis. Explain. Okay. So this is July 24th. Didn't it just pass, baby? President Trump issued an executive order that attacks people experiencing homelessness by forcing states to choose between using proven methods to address homelessness or receive federal funding. The EO radical reorientates our country's policy to address homelessness towards punitive approaches that prioritize jail, forced treatment. So we're tripping. No white vans, right? White vans, oh my God, no, that's a lie. What's going on here? Prioritize jail, forced treatment, and institutionalized over evidence-based approach that provides housing and service. The EO is executive orders, if you don't know what that means. Prioritize civil commitment to institutionalizing of persons with disabilities living on the streets. with disabilities living on the street paved the way to uproot core constitutional protection. So I think we gotta get into this. I'm gonna put that on the side. Prioritizing federal funding for locations that criminalize homelessness, prohibiting camping, squatting, loitering, moving people with mental health conditions and substance use disorders into institutions through use of civil commitment. So they're going to basically find a way to commit them to the hospital. And that's something that I know about too as a nurse, because you can be admitted against your will. Yes, yes, yes. One of my foundations, I was a psych nurse for a year, the first year and a half of my nursing career, and that was the craziest experience ever. But you can be held out of your will, and if you have some crazy nurses, crazy policies, they may write up the paperwork that make you look a little different than what you actually are. And I'm gonna take a whole glass and shut the hell up. Have I ever did that? No, because I would never. And I got out of, just to let y'all know, because somebody like, you probably did that too. No, no, no. I just know how people get down. Okay? So don't think that you like, I'm sane, and I will never happen to me. We have people in this audience right now saying I'm insane. They're trying to create a picture of me in y'all eyes. And that's what they can do to others. Institutionalizing people. Okay? That's homeless and not homeless. Okay? Yeah. So, okay, authorizes HUD to allow or require recipients of homeless assistance federal funds to collect medical information and share it with law enforcement. Against the law, against the law. We're not supposed to do that, okay? That is not copacetic. That's why one of the nurses had went to jail. Did y'all ever see that video where that Caucasian nurse, I love her. They wanted to take blood from that guy, talking about he was drunk. They had whatever, beat him up or whatever, and they needed to do a CT on his head. And they was like, no, you need to take blood. And she was saying, no, that's me, y'all. And they done locked her up. Do you know she got a lawsuit? Do you know she got a lawsuit? So this is something that I want you guys to go look at, okay, of what's going on. I'm sorry, y'all. I know it'd be heavy, but we gotta learn. What is concerning about this executive order? This EO attempts to undermine and unpin core protections prohibiting confinement of people with disabilities by funneling federal money towards arresting and institutionalizing individuals experiencing homelessness. So you got to look at this, because they're kind of intertwining disabilities and homelessness. Just because you have a disability don't mean that you're mentally disabled, and doesn't mean that you're homeless. But you're going to see if we go into the executive order, they kind of do this tricknology where they intertwine words and it becomes an open-ended type of sentence that can be used, how can I say, interchangeably in different court matters. Does that make sense? Anybody know about court? That you can literally just take a line out of another case and use it in your particular court matter. And if the people you're going against don't know that case don't apply to your case, and the judge don't pick it out, you could just throw anything in there. Y'all know I'm a legal nursing consultant, right? Yeah, people, the lawyers too. But this is how they use the system and the wording and the executive orders to get things through in court. I'm just kind of like tying some stuff together, but I don't want to be too geeky today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to show more videos so it could be a little bit fun. Information and technical assistance on Americans with disability. So I'm going to read this a little bit later. I don't think this is an archive. Oh, also, guys, let me just give y'all a heads up. If y'all want to ever get information that is not online, that they have wiped out, especially things they wiped out from COVID or any CIA documents that's like things that they release, go to archive.org. Archive.org. Remember that. I'm going to put it at the bottom. I'm giving y'all a literal bomb. Even the people who don't like me. Go over there and y'all be able to see release CIA, documents and things. Probably Epstein files up there too, because I haven't gone look. But most likely, Bible books from different countries. It's called Lost Archive. That's what it's called. LostArchive.org. Or I'll put it at the bottom for you guys. I'm dropping a landmine for y'all, okay? Because I just do that. So President Trump executive orders on criminalizing unhoused people explain. What does the order do? One, it prompts police enforcement enforce of law that has historically rooted in the post-Civil War black codes. Why did I just do that, guys? I told y'all. It starts with us. They do it on us, the so-called black, the categorized people who are black, us. And then it rolls over to all of y'all. Y'all all get subjugated. The rich want to subjugate everybody. So don't think you're special today. It's you tomorrow. So they're referencing black codes related to this. Okay, and homelessness is not a color thing. Okay. So their references this to Civil War black codes, which were enacted to limit the freedom of newly freed blacks. It urges increased federal funding to municipality that enforces laws prohibiting urban camping, loitering, urban squatting, and under the guise of fighting vagrancy. The root of the vagrancy laws, remember vagrancy, they use that on us, dates back to the black codes enacted after the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment because they had to find a way to recapture us. You know, they gave us 3/4 of a person with the 13th Amendment and, you know, prioritized allegedly white men only. But then, you know, later on, they just said, if you ain't rich, I don't care who the hell you are. You know, they just keep advancing the division, but we'll keep it moving. Let's just go down number 2. It invites states to request federal law enforcement assistance from the Attorney General through 34 USC 50101. The enactment removal efforts. This displaced people who are unhoused. So they're going to send maybe the National Guard to pick up homeless people. Where are the removal efforts, encampment removal efforts? Where are they bringing these people? It threatens federal criminal prosecutions of programs that offer harm reduction services. Woo! So harm reduction services is preventative service, you know, like prevent the disease from spreading, prevent homelessness. So they're threatening federal criminal prosecution against institutions who want to do preventative for homeless. Right, we're in the right direction, guys. My Trump lovers. I mean, come on. I know you're one check away from being homeless. I see some of you guys. I see some of you guys' homes. I see how you dress. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Now, I ain't going to get through all of this, but we just going to come because, you know, I'm playing a little bit. But this is what I do. I could do a whole 3 hours on just reading y'all resources and jumping from source to source because somebody done said something crazy yesterday. She just showing videos. You done messed up. You know I'm a geek. So encourage the institutionalization of people who are homeless by encouraging state and local governments to civilly commit people who are unhoused and force them into treatment. Unhoused into treatment. They didn't say drug addicted into treatment. What treatment you gonna treat for unhoused? Is that a disease? Is that a disease? Am I digging this in the hole? Y'all ready to watch a video now? Let's watch a video so I can take a whole glass and shut the heck up. Let's watch Trump.
Trump signs an executive order on homelessness.
This was a month ago.
Priority on placing people in treatment. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. This directive involves taking aim at what the
Baby, hold on. This one says, I want to listen to you. You said, listen, I love everyone and try to see everyone, but an opinion is in fact. Regardless, I want the parties to not split. We need to work together. We do. They are been split, girl. This is Cloud 13, sir. They been split. It's Democrat, Republican in one head. We got to get together as people. This is not my only opinion. I'm putting my little ad-libs in here, but I'm showing y'all the proof. Come on now. You know this ain't my opinion. This my opinion. This my opinion right here. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. But I understand. But the parties are already split. This been happening. We have to get together as a people on our priorities. What is our safety? What is the definition of humanity? We literally practicing gang mentality. And we have, I'm going to mess with y'all Caucasian people. Y'all be talking about us in the hood with gang. And when I watch the behavior of Democrats and Republicans, I say, yo, y'all straight a gang. And I watch gangs my whole life. Y'all crash out over somebody that y'all don't know, never met, because they on your political side and they done hurt somebody and did something, but you got to take up for them. That is how the Bloods work. That's why I said I would have never been part of them. I'm from North New Jersey. I could have been part of all the gangs I wanted to. Bang, bang, shoot them up. I moved out of my mother's house at 17. Had my first apartment at 17. I could have been anything in the world, but not a damn gang member. You telling me that this mug gonna go over there, get in the fight, do something stupid, and no matter what they do, I gotta defend them? Or I'm gonna get beat up? Shit, this don't sound fun to me. This don't sound fun to me. But let's go. Let's go.
President Trump signs an executive order on homelessness that puts the priority on placing people in treatment. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlos Chiquetta. This directive involves taking aim at what the Trump administration considers to be the root causes of homelessness.
CBS 8's Esmeralda Perez is here in studio to explain. Esmeralda?
Well, that's right. Now, the president's executive order aims to move homeless individuals off the streets and into treatments or facilities. It allows for involuntary commitment when needed, especially for those who are at risk.
Involuntary commitment when needed. Huh? Does that sound good? Someone said I should take a homeless into my house. Guess what? I got 2 college students. I do got 2 homeless people. They can't find houses. The rent cost of living, they don't meet the requirement. I do got 2 homeless people already, sir. Okay?
To themselves or others by changing legal rules.
It's an ongoing challenge cities across the country are met with, helping people experiencing homelessness off the streets. Today, the president signed an executive order intended at addressing this issue with several key steps. It directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to reverse rules that limit municipalities' abilities to relocate homeless people. It also redirects federal resources to ensure people are sent to facilities for rehabilitation and substance abuse to get the treatment they need. San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond applauds the executive order.
I'm ecstatic. I mean, finally, we're going to get to the root causes of homelessness.
The root cause of the homelessness is homelessness. That's what he's saying. The root cause of homelessness is the people laying outside. That's what I'm getting. Okay? Which I get. Shout out to the new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the like button. I'm working on getting myself out of punishment, y'all. I'm straight a rebel. Y'all thought that y'all was, I'm against Republicans. I'm not. Democrats been beating my butt for the last year because I've been exposing them. So I just tell the truth, y'all. Hit the like. But homelessness, the issue is, the root issue, y'all, what they say, is homelessness.
This executive order also calls for increased accountability in how the government provides and funds homelessness assistance and transitional living programs. That includes ending support for housing first policies, which the federal government says deprioritize accountability and fail to promote treatment, recovery, and self-sufficiency. Desmond hopes the state will back the federal government's approach.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that the state of California and the governor say, hey, we'll take your help, federal government. We'll take your dollars. We'll build mental health facilities. We'll put in the right treatment centers. We'll change my housing first to, treatment and care.
But Jeffrey said,
oh my God. Let's go. Let's move on to the next video. They scare me when they said they're going to put more mental health facilities. Y'all remember when there was a lot of mental health facilities in America back in the day and they was doing all of that crazy stuff, cutting people's frontal lobes out and experimenting? Hey, shut up, y'all. They still doing it today. The whole C-19 vaccine was experiment. Tell me I'm lying. Yeah, tell me I'm lying. That's why they doing the daggone hearings right now and everybody ignoring it, doing it right in the middle of chaos. Just telling the truth. I got to highlight that, y'all. That's one of my disparities, y'all. That shit was... let's not talk about it. Okay, President Trump signs executive order making it easy to remove. Again, this is another 1-minute video. I'm not the only one talking about it. This is not conspiracy. Other people are saying homeless people are missing. Y'all want to see one more video like this? And then we move on to just a few TikToks and then we get up out of here, y'all? because I think I made my point. I don't want to drag this in a hole. Try not to go above an hour. And I'm going to listen to y'all, read y'all comments too. And thank you. I saw a few say, I subscribe. Thank you. Please hit all notifications. Tell YouTube that you like me. Get me out of trouble. I'm in trouble, y'all. God got it.
Reporting from News 6, President Trump signed an executive order to make it easier to remove homeless people from the streets and commit those with mental illness and substance abuse. The order directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to reverse rules that limit municipalities' abilities to relocate homeless people.
Can y'all tell me a little bit about Pam Bondi? Because I don't know a lot about her, but she don't look like she qualified.
It also redirects federal resources so affected homeless people are transferred to facilities for rehabilitation and substance abuse. The order comes just a month after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of an Oregon city that ticketed homeless people for sleeping outside. We do have a similar law right here.
That man said, remember he said they could just lock us up and then release us. We ain't got no money. So y'all see all that homelessness? You think that is just a stem of mental illness? That's a bad reflection on America. Okay, y'all. So we have an increase of mental illness so bad that we have homelessness, or we have our priorities mixed up with our economy and inflation. Either way, it is terrible. This doesn't make any sense. This is the greatest country in the world. This is the greatest country in the world. Let's watch this. Let's move on. Let's do a few TikToks before we get up out of here. Now, this is not the first time this happened, because this happened again. This happened in 2017, 2023, because I'm nosy. So I noticed when this trend was happening, when people talk about it. But 2017, that's when we had all our 10 hats on and people was calling us 10 hatters, and it was just nothing to prove it. That's when all of those little secret videos coming out about the Illuminati and this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. 2016, 17, if y'all with me, that's when they blew our mind of people. And now today years old, we can handle this going on because we literally was exposed to all of this shit. But this was people being missing at that time too. Okay, this is not new to this. They true to this.
And to tell you all that homeless people around the United States and major cities have been going missing at alarming rates. Doctors are even pointing out that their high flyers are just not showing up. I've been in
let me get to y'all comments.
Ohio at one point, and as soon as I left, I heard that there was a big influx of missing people. So we are aware of this and this and this. I'm going to ask us to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yes, please.
Because while they have that going on over there, this is what they're doing to us here.
All right, so on that note, let's read some of your comments. Kingdom Fish, it takes a community actions, not the government actions. Exactly. And that's what we have to do. But the government takes our money, and they're taking these programs and creating these detrimental programs with our money, and it's dangerous. So we have to stand up. But I understand. That's why I'm out giving out a little bit meals with my broke butt. Shout out to Cloud 13. Thank you so much for being here. Kevin C. Look up Nick Shirley interviewed the homeless. They are thankful. Okay, I will look it up. I don't know what they thankful for, baby, but make sure that same person who say he was thankful, you could follow up and make sure that he is alive. Okay, after he goes in these little encampments, allegedly. Just saying. Cloud 13, I see what you're saying, if anything. Hey, Lynn B, thank you. New sub, blessings, welcome. What is this? I'm just going to get to a few of them. I want you guys to have your word. One of my oldest best friends got on the street because of their abusive man. Exactly. And they be young. And these kids have no way of even learning how to live life because they done been on the internet so long. They don't even know how to use a bank account. You know, one time I was at the post office, y'all. Let me just turn this. And there was this young Caucasian boy. He was I thought he was older. And he was trying to pay on the kiosk. And he just stood there. And I was like, sir, you got to stick it in there. And he was like this? I was like, yeah, just flip your card, put it in there. And then I started talking. I'm like, how old are you? He was like 19. I said, oh, my God, you my son age. I said, okay. So he got his little stamps and went about his business. But I said, whoa, this 19-year-old don't know how to use the kiosk? They don't know how to use these things. Okay, let's get into your comments. New York over here, homie. Blessings. Oh, I was born in Brooklyn, Cloud 13, from Jersey. I'm out here in Atlanta. You got to remember, homelessness ain't anything dangerous. Basic human necessity, home, food, and water. We are something we should strive for as a community in a country to provide for all. And if everybody keeps saying they Christ-like, shut up, y'all. Y'all saying y'all Christ-like. Christ fed the homeless. He fed with one fish, one bread. That's part of our job. So, my Christians, y'all Christ-like, but you want them dead? You want them gone? BTW, I was saying you're speaking facts. Thank you so much. If I ever offend you guys, let me know. I do apologize. Sometimes, words get lost, so I'll read it one way and perceive it another way, and y'all just be like, no, that's not what it means. That's not what I was saying. All right. As a conservative, my heart bleeds for George Floyd. I hate this death was used by both sides for political purpose. Well, thank you for bringing that up. We're not talking about George Floyd, but they use a lot of these deaths for political purpose on the Democratic side and the Republican side. This is one of the issues I have with the Democrats, where they're just using the black people plight as well. They're called traptivists. Okay, they're activists that go place to place and make money and monetize off the black people pain. Black Lives Matters, I was talking about that, baby. I understand it's on both sides. That's why I'm in trouble now, because I was exposing that out in Chicago. And yeah, hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. What color was that girl again? Does it matter now? What girl? What are you talking about? Nope, it really doesn't. I think we have to base people on what you feel from them, their aura, really listening to their words and actions. And like I said, we can have our pre-prejudice because we grew up in different households, different religions and things. But as you meet people and you give them the benefit of the doubt, a lot of those prejudices kind of melt off. You see what I'm saying? So I think if we approach that with the biases we're already setting us, because I told y'all, as a Haitian girl, if y'all watch my video, my grandma told me stay away from white people since a kid. They evil, that damn dumb, they evil. And I'd be like, Grandma, or everybody, just everybody, and that's what I was saying too about what's going on with the youth. They have a disconnection from history, and we have to teach history. So I was disconnected from that total feeling that she was feeling, but I got to understood where it came from, but I never took it all in like, that's just how I'm going to be. But it made me aware. But let's say this. Let me kind of branch into this, because this situation as well, this hanging of the homeless man, the homeless people, also I think is connected to the hanging of the black students in these colleges. We're going to get back to that topic as well, because we're having some updates about colleges out here in Georgia. Yeah, I know I got college students. So Jesus Christ. And there's some uproar because they're having Charlie Kirk visuals this week. There's been an uptake of aggressiveness with the police in particular areas around colleges out here in Georgia. I'm just kind of giving y'all subliminal messages. And they're doing things kind of outside of the book. If y'all see the post that I made, that is directly from a college out here where a black young man was pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt. He had a seatbelt, didn't get a ticket, but they had the dog search his car. They was doing all types of shit, intimidating him. He ended up being late for class or school. And this was a college student. It is getting real. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to give y'all an update about that. That's actually something that I got to move on to. But today I wanted to highlight that we have to pay attention to all of the categories that are far, far, far right. I'm just being honest. Hate. Because I think this is not going to be just a black person. You see a homeless white person, maybe a LGBT person, maybe another thing that they just don't like, because they got a long laundry list of shit they don't like. I'm not understanding why, but we have to prioritize now. We have to unite as human beings and really make decisions on what side of history you want to be on. Point blank, period. So that's all I could be able to show you here is the truth. I'm biased. I know y'all might think I'm biased, but I do. Everybody have their little bias because you're from where you're at. But as long as that person is willing to open and listen and show different stuff, I think we can meet in the middle. And that's where I'm at. Okay? So if you guys are turning into separatists like me, sorry, y'all, hit the like button. I'm creating a whole new category. Throw all that shit in the garbage, Peggy. So just throw it all in the garbage and start again because it ain't working. So with that being said, tonight, I need you guys to please, we have a live coming up. I'm going to be working with another broadcaster. If y'all ever heard of this case, it's called the Samaji Crosby case. Have y'all ever heard of that? Where a little baby, about 18 months, was stuffed in the couch. Yeah, so that particular story, they actually opened an investigation again because no one was found guilty of that. And we're going to be updating the audience on that. So we have a few witnesses that was actually there in the situation the first 24 to 48 hours, and we'll be talking to them tonight. So if you're interested in some of those cases, please hit the like button, check us out. We're going to be interviewing them today. We're going to be talking about and we're going to be talking about old cases that did not get its retribution, like the Kendrick Johnson case, and things like that. And if you see any other cases from any nation that you feel is just crazy and you want to share with me, share it, and I will share it. Because I'm definitely against police brutality, point blank, period. And even I told you I'm not a federal agent. I'm against police brutality. I'm against them being abusive. I'm against them not doing their job. I'm against them not knowing the law. And these are to the ones that don't. There's some good ones that's bleeding. Just like how I was bleeding in healthcare. Like, I got to get the fuck out of here. There's some, because I know some good police too. I have met some. But that's what I focus on here. I want to say thank you for being here with me. I got to get my day started. Please look up for an update. I may come live before that actual show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I may give y'all an update of what's going on the Trey Reed case and what's going on out here in Georgia, because they're going to be having, as I state, a Kirk visual on a college campus. The same day they're going to have this big-ass football game. And the campus area, it's in a Confederate place. It's Confederate. But the place is lower-income white people. And that's what I'm saying. I hope they really realize that they can be disposed like Kurt. Kurt was disposed of. Trump talked about Kurt 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and kept it moving. Do you guys see what's going on here? So I need you Kurt lovers and Trump lovers to think about this, okay? Because y'all asses is 2 minutes from being broke, just like us over here and being homeless. And once you determine homeless and your name ain't on a lease, but you could be in jail. Okay, so with that being said, thank you for being here with Miss Grace. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Talk to you soon. Hit the like.